You've probably never heard of this classic Christmas cake before, unless you're from Kentucky or have family who's from Kentucky. Jam cake is one of those cakes that you only see at Christmas time. My mom used to make it every year, and now that I don't have her anymore, I have to do it myself. But what I do have is the recipe that she used, and we've kept this forever. This recipe is as old as I am. This is the exact recipe that I'm following. The first thing I'm going to do is take 2 sticks of butter, and I'm going to beat them until they're light. I'm going to add the sugar, and I'm going to add brown sugar. All right, this is good enough. So now I'm going to add 5 beaten eggs. And I'm going to start adding in the flour. I'm going to pour in about half the buttermilk mixture. This recipe is a little bit different because you have more allspice and cloves than cinnamon, and usually it's the other way around. Some walnuts, some chopped walnuts, and some raisins. And I know people just got a problem with raisins. We are not allowed to have raisins, but I don't care what nobody says. You can't have raisins, ain't nothing wrong with raisins. So I'm going to mix these together with some flour so that they don't end up sinking to the bottom. I've got blackberry jam, and I always, for my entire life, I've always used the Smucker brand. I've never used anything else. So I'm going to add some of this. I'm baking it at 325, and the whole time it's baking, it smells just like Christmas. And when it's done, I'm going to top it off with caramel icing. Or you can just eat it plain, which is usually what I do. But the recipe calls for caramel icing, which is traditional for the jam cake. I am not a fan of caramel icing because I think it is just too sweet. So I usually leave it off. I like caramel frosting, but caramel icing is a no. The recipe is really easy to make, and it only has a few ingredients, but I do add some corn syrup because I think that it needs it. I'm going to pour the caramel directly into a stand mixer. Do not use a glass bowl for this. If you do, you are really setting yourself up for failure. That glass bowl will probably shatter. This stuff is just way too hot. And I'm just going to whip it until it becomes light, just like this. Now I'm ready to ice the cake, but make sure that you work fast because this stuff will set up very quickly.